My 10th anniversary is coming up, and my kids are getting old enough to be a pain in the butt regarding our single bathroom. So I've been saving up, and for my 10th anniversary, I'm getting a bathroom installed in the basement. I'm going all out. Well, as all out as I can afford. I'm getting a 2-person tub with jets, in-floor heating, and a heat lamp so my wife can dry off and stay warm. Anyways, the issue is that my brother's having money problems. He called me and asked if I could spare any money to help him out. He has a tendency to live beyond his means. We have similar jobs and salaries, but he has a massive house with 3.5 bathrooms. He drives a $150,000 truck that he will never use to tow, haul, or go off-road with. His wife's engagement ring cost as much as my motorcycle. My family lives in a bungalow my wife and I bought. It was built in 1956, and it's cozy for 2 kids and us. But my mom constantly compares our lifestyles. She loves showing people pictures of his Christmas decorations and stuff, and she shares his vacation pictures, that sort of thing. The bathroom budget is $25,000, but it will probably go higher when the contractor starts working. My mom is backing him up. She says I don't spend any money, so I should have saved some to help out my family. She says he might have to sell his truck or downsize his home. I told her that was really not my problem. He makes a little more than I do a year, so he should have savings too. She said he needed to have a big house to entertain and impress his way up the ladder. That might just be my interpretation. I don't want to lend him money, watch him waste it, and disappoint my wife. She deserves a bathroom where she can take long baths without the children or me interrupting her to use the toilet. I could cut corners and lend him some money, but I really don't want to do that, even if it means he has to sell his stuff. Am I the idiot for wasting my money on a stupid bathroom and not helping my brother? Boo-hoo, your brother may have to sell his truck. Maybe your wife can cry about it in her new tub. Not the idiot. And truthfully, screw him and the rest of your family. Let them open their wallets if they want to bail him out so badly. Your savings are yours, and you don't owe anyone a loan or a gift, since it sounds unlikely he'd be able to pay you back. Exactly. Don't think of it as lending, because there's no way that money will come back, and you'll still see him hosting the big parties and going on lavish vacations. Now that he has this money for bills, he can use the money he makes for more fun stuff. I recently completed a 2nd bathroom renovation, which was worth every penny. Your family wants and needs a 2nd bathroom. You should spend your money to improve your and your family's living situation with a 2nd bathroom. Your brother should downsize his truck or spending. Yeah, the first thing your brother should do is downsize his truck. He has a $150,000 truck. That's absurd. It is beyond time for your brother to learn to live within his means, not his and whatever he can bum off of you and other family members. It's too bad he just can't sell a bathroom to you. Sounds like he has too many. I don't get why family members think they have any right to ask OP to cut corners on his own family to help someone living above his means. None of this is OP's problem, and it's not OP's fault that Mom values his brother's pretensions more than OP and his family. It gives strong, tell me you have a favorite child without telling me you have a favorite child vibes. So brother literally makes more money than OP does, and she wants OP to bankroll him? If Mom wants to help the brother out that bad, let her lend him the money. No, I already know. She doesn't have the money to do it. Therefore, but he can sell his wife's diamonds. Everyone has to do stuff like that when there's a money crunch. So why should he be any different? Stick to your guns and make your wife the happiest lady within 500 miles. My ex, Josh 18 male, and I 18 female, have a toddler child together. He's a good parent and all, but we don't really mesh well. After a while, all we do was fight, and we decided to break up. Before we started dating, there was this girl, Zoe. Apparently Zoe and Josh never dated, but everyone insists that they would have had she not moved away. One of the first things Josh's friends said to him when we broke up was, "You should call Zoe up." I've heard plenty of how perfect they are for each other. She's super pretty too. I'll admit, She was another reason we broke up. Even though she moved hours and hours away, she and Josh would still talk. Nothing ever happened, but you know. Well, she moved back into the area some weeks ago, and I haven't seen Josh this happy in a long time. Our daughter's birthday was soon, and we agreed on doing birthdays together, and Josh asked if Zoe could be there too, since all of our friends were coming anyways. I was going to say no, but technically had no reason to. She's been super nice to our daughter and me, and it's not like Josh and I are together anymore. She came and everyone's attention was on her. Many of them hadn't seen her in years, and well, as I said, she's very pretty. My daughter obviously didn't care, but I felt that everyone was being a bit rude. Even Josh's dad was like, "Wait, you're the Zoe?" and talked to her for ages, saying how glad he was to finally meet her. Don't get me wrong, everyone was super sweet to my daughter, and my daughter liked Zoe, but she was the main topic the whole time. My mom noticed this too and kept trying to turn the attention to my daughter. When she gave up, I got really upset. Everyone went out to the backyard, and Josh had our daughter. Zoe stayed behind for whatever reason. She started telling me how cute my daughter was. I wasn't in the mood though, so I just replied with, "Mm-hmm." She noticed and was like, "Did I do something to offend you?" She looked at me like I was crazy and I was so over it. I told her that her whole presence offends me and that I'm tired of always hearing about her. I then asked her to please leave. I heard her call me a witch, but she just quickly whispered something to Josh and then left. So now everyone is mad at me because Zoe said she doesn't feel welcome. My parents are the only ones on my side, but I don't know how reliable that is, considering. Please be honest. Am I the idiot here? You are the idiot. She did nothing to you. You were unforgivably rude to her for purely internal reasons. You're letting your jealousy show. Of course, people would be more interested in an adult that they've heard a lot about versus a little kid's birthday. You're an 18-year-old with a toddler child. It's really hard. And then everyone at your child's B-Day paid a lot of attention to a very pretty girl who might end up with your child's dad. And you were so jealous you couldn't stand it, and you were very rude and mean to her. The first thing you need to do is own up to it and apologize to Zoe. You have to be absolutely sincere and mean it. Then you need to apologize to Josh. Finally, you're a mom. You need to start modeling the kind of behavior you want your daughter to grow up with, even if she doesn't get it at her age. Start now. Everyone's the idiot here. It would have been amazing if you had the grace to endure that party and express your feelings later. Your mom sucks for fueling your insecurities. Everyone else sucks for letting your daughter's B-Day party turn into the Welcome Back Zoe event. This is your child's birthday party, a day to celebrate your child. This woman doesn't know your child. She's not even your friend. She didn't belong at your child's party at all, and it was incredibly rude for her to come. Aside from the fact that Zoe should have had the tact and social clue not to go in the first place, the minute people started making this party about her, she should have shut that down. Party's about the baby, not her. Taking over someone else's party is incredibly rude. That's why you don't wear white to someone else's wedding. Zoe knew what she was doing. You were only wrong for being rude. Keep your distance. Don't play her game. Take care of your child and be polite when needed. My son, nearly adult, has apparently been in the closet for the past 7 months. So my son is fairly masculine and straight acting, if that makes any sense. However, he's very obviously had a boyfriend, 18, for the past 7 months. He sometimes baby talks to this boy, hugs him all the time, calls him handsome, shares clothes, and sits way too close to each other, to the point where they're basically cuddling. He closes his bedroom door when with him, but not any other friends. Sees him every day, buys him gifts, and for the past 7 months, he always smells great, has his hair fixed really nice, and dresses nicer, among other things. Today I asked my son if he would invite his boyfriend on our trip, and he got awkward and said, "That's not funny." I asked what he meant, and he said, "I'm straight, that's not funny." I laughed, and when I realized he was serious, I started laughing even harder. I told him he was very obviously in a relationship with a guy and did a terrible job at hiding it. He got emotional and started asking me not to tell his dad. My husband already knows. As I said, it was obvious. Then he got upset, saying I outed him when he wasn't ready. He hasn't said a word to me in a couple of days. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. He might not have realized how obvious it was, and it's a scary time for him, and you laughed at him. You're his mother, and he should be able to count on support when he's scared, not ridicule. You're wrong for minimizing his fears and for not realizing that his fears are there because you haven't done the groundwork of establishing that he'd be safe to come out to you. Agreed. Reactions like this, along with a basic lack of trust, are why my mother didn't find out I was bi until I was almost 30. Great job, OP. Intended or not, that interaction has your son questioning you and is trusting you. I hope your relationship has a solid foundation and that this didn't just sink a nail in its coffin. As a gay man, some of y'all need to get over yourselves. OP's not the idiot. Yes, he had to come out at an unexpected moment, but maybe don't suck so bad at hiding it. I mean, it's terrible we have to hide anything at all, but if you're not ready for people to know, don't go around showing off things that obviously give it away and then get mad when someone has connected the dots, especially if that someone isn't even being malicious about it and has no way of being aware of what the entire situation even means. Agree. If he had been doing all the same things with a girl and you called her his girlfriend, nobody would say you're an idiot. If it had been a girl and the whole family picked up on the chemistry, again, no big deal. Why would you be an idiot for treating him and his boyfriend the same way? I'm in favor of accepting and not treating them like there's some anomaly. OP, maybe apologize for the giggle and get him some snacks. I, 30 female, am friends with a couple, Mike and Sandra, 35 male and 38 female, and invited them and their child Charlie, female tween, over for dinner. Before they came over, I texted them to find out if they had any food sensitivities, allergies, needs, etc. The wife said there was nothing I needed to worry about, so I decided on something a bit kid-friendly while still feeling like I was cooking for adults. I settled on chicken parm with some chocolate cake for dessert. I figured it was like chicken nuggets mixed with pizza, which kids would like. It turned out really well for someone who's just started cooking like me. My friends told me it was good, and maybe they were just being polite, but they ate everything. Charlie poked at her meal the entire time we ate, and I'm not sure if she ate any of it. After we were done, I brought out the chocolate cake. Charlie ate a tiny bite and immediately started bawling. Sandra asked her what was wrong, and she cried that she didn't like chocolate. Sandra continued to comfort her daughter, while Mike and I awkwardly ate dessert. A few minutes passed and I noticed Sandra glaring at me. I hesitantly asked her if I could help her with Charlie. I'm not good with kids, which she knows, but I wasn't sure what else to do. She huffed and asked, "Is there anything you'd like to say to Charlie?" It took me a second to realize that she wanted an apology for her kid not eating my food. I thought it might help cheer Charlie up at least, so I said I was sorry that she didn't like my food. Charlie started crying harder, and her mom asked me if I had anything she would like instead. I drew the line there. I told her I wasn't going to cook anything else, and that if I didn't like what my mom made me as a kid, I went to bed hungry. Mike was just silently eating his cake, while Sandra tried to convince me to make something else for Charlie to eat. I stood up from the table and asked Mike if he wanted me to wrap up his cake for him to take home, because the rest of his family was apparently not having a good time. Then I suggested that Sandra could go home and make something for Charlie to eat. Sandra scoffed at me and said something about how I was cooking tonight, and she thought she could have taken the night off. I knew I was about to say something I really regretted, so I slammed my plate on the table and told her to get out. Mike seemed genuinely embarrassed as they left. I haven't spoken to any of them since, and now I think I overreacted by kicking them out of my house. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She was out of line. She should pack snacks or food for her if she has a picky kid. Crying over chocolate cake? Ridiculous. You did nothing wrong. Mom was wrong. Their kid is not your responsibility, and catering to her food issues isn't your job. Sandra's so out of line that she doesn't see the line. If the child is known to be a picky eater, which we don't know but can only assume to be the case, then it's Sandra's and Mike's priority to prepare for that, not the person that's hosting you, especially after OP asked. This is absurd, and Sandra sounds entitled. Golly. Oh my word, I just caught that the child is a tween, and the parent is behaving like this? I could have understood a little one getting upset at whatever because, toddlers. But a tween? This is enmeshed, entrenched bad behavior that stems from mother, inflicted upon that child, and now upon the world at large. What a distinctively weird way to be in this world. OP, I feel sorry for Mike, who sounds like he really needs a friend. Maybe call him. What kind of parenting are these people doing by appeasing that behavior? Given Mike's reaction, this can't be an isolated issue. Try reaching out to him first and see what he has to say. You had every right to refuse and kick them out. Yelling and slamming dishes was an idiot thing, especially in front of a child that was the cause of the upset in the first place. I can only imagine how the kid felt after that happened. My oldest recently started a job as a busboy at a local restaurant after school. He frequently comes home with leftover food and shares it with his siblings and us. Sunday he worked a long shift for extra pay because he didn't have school. He came home and didn't want to do his Sunday chores. He asked his younger siblings to do his chores for him because he was tired. His younger sister said no, that his being tired wasn't her problem. Finally, his younger brother agreed to do it. Last night when he came home, he would only share with his younger brother. His younger sister, Tween, said that wasn't fair because she likes the restaurant's food. My wife started to tell him to share, but before she could, I told her we needed to let the kids work out their own conflicts as long as everyone was safe and not get involved. In the end, our oldest didn't share with our daughter, and she was very upset. She refused to eat dinner, saying that the food her mother and I made was gross. My wife said I was an idiot for encouraging our son to dangle the privileges of his age over his siblings' heads. I think it was a good lesson on how doing nice things for others pays off in the end, personally. Not the idiot. I like your approach, but your daughter needs a reality check. She does not get to call the food you and your wife make gross because she's cranky about not getting the restaurant food. She needs to learn a thing or two about misdirected anger and its consequences. I don't think your eldest was wrong to only share with your younger son when he helped him with his chores. However, I am a little unsure about him not wanting to do his chores due to working late at his job. It's inherently unfair for him to prioritize his paying job over his share of the household upkeep, then foist his chores on his younger siblings. You and your wife need to be on the same page so the kids don't pick sides with you. A united front is essential. Disagree. You are the idiot, OP. Your son expected his younger sister to do his chores because he was tired. When she said no, he punished her for not doing his chores by withholding the restaurant food. You're siding with the bully and telling his victim she should be nice to him. Hard disagree. This is in no way bullying. He asked her to help him with his chores. Expect it would have been if he had told her to do them. The food is a perk of his job, not something the sister or parents can pay for. It's not bullying, it's a trade, and she decided not to participate. Withholding the restaurant food? Yes, she's clearly going to starve without that restaurant food. LOL.